1 BC Wang Meng consolidates his power in China and is declared Marshal of State. Emperor Ai of Han, who died the previous day, had no heirs. 942 Start of the four-day Battle of Al-Mada'in, between the Hamdanids of Mosul and the Bridis of Basra over control of the Abbasid capital, Baghdad. 963 Nikephoros II Phocas is crowned Emperor of the Byzantine Empire. He ruled Byzantine Empire until 969. 1513 Battle of the Spurs, Battle of Gine Gate. King Henry VIII of England and his imperial allies defeat French forces who are then forced to retreat. 1570 The Principality of Transylvania is established after John II Zapolya renounces his claim as King of Hungary in the Treaty of Speyer. 1652 Battle of Plymouth. Inconclusive naval action between the fleets of Michiel de Ruyter and George Ayscue in the First Anglo-Dutch War. 1777 American Revolutionary War. The Americans led by General John Stark rout British and Brunswick troops under Friedrich Baum at the Battle of Bennington in Walloomsac, New York. 1780 American Revolutionary War. Battle of Camden. The British defeat the Americans near Camden, South Carolina. 1792 Maximilien de Robespierre presents the petition of the Commune of Paris to the Legislative Assembly, which demanded the formation of a revolutionary tribunal. 1793 French Revolution. A levée en masse is decreed by the National Convention. 1812 War of 1812. American General William Hull surrenders Fort Detroit without a fight to the British Army. 1819 Peterloo Massacre. 17 people die and over 600 are injured in cavalry charges at a public meeting at St. Peter's Field, Manchester, England. 1841 U.S. President John Tyler vetoes a bill which called for the re-establishment of the Second Bank of the United States. Enraged Whig Party members riot outside the White House in the most violent demonstration on White House grounds in U.S. history. 1858 U.S. President James Buchanan inaugurates the new transatlantic telegraph cable by exchanging greetings with Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom. 1863 The Dominican Restoration War begins when Gregorio Luperon raises the Dominican flag in Santo Domingo after Spain had recolonized the country. 1869 Battle of Acosta New. A Paraguayan battalion largely made up of children is massacred by the Brazilian army during the Paraguayan War. 1870 Franco-Prussian War. The Battle of Mars-la-Tour is fought, resulting in a Prussian victory. 1876 Richard Wagner's Siegfried, the penultimate opera in his Ring cycle, premieres at the Bayreuth Festspielhaus. 1891 The Basilica of San Sebastian, Manila, the first all-steel church in Asia, is officially inaugurated and blessed. 1896 Skookum Jim Mason, George Carmack and Dawson Charlie discover gold in a tributary of the Klondike River in Canada, setting off the Klondike Gold Rush. 1900 The Battle of Eland's River during the Second Boer War ends after a 13-day siege is lifted by the British. The battle had begun when a force of between 2,000 and 3,000 Boers had surrounded a force of 500 Australians, Rhodesians, Canadians and British soldiers at a supply dump at Brackfontein Drift. 1913 Tohoku Imperial University of Japan, modern-day Tohoku University, becomes the first university in Japan to admit female students. 1913 Completion of the Royal Navy battlecruiser HMS Queen Mary. HMS Queen Mary was the last battlecruiser built by the Royal Navy before the First World War. 1918 The Battle of Lake Baikal was fought between the Czechoslovak Legion and the Red Army. While occupying various ports on the shores of the Baikal, the Czechoslovak legionaries managed to capture two enemy steamships, the Siberiak and the Fedosia. 1920 Carl Mays of the New York Yankees throws a fastball that strikes Ray Chapman of the Cleveland Indians in the head. The next day, Chapman would become the second Major League Baseball player to pass away as a result of wounds received during a game. 1920 Polish-Soviet War. The Battle of Radzymin concludes. The Soviet Red Army is forced to turn away from Warsaw. 1927 The Dole Air Race begins from Oakland, California, to Honolulu, Hawaii, during which 6 out of the 8 participating planes crash or disappear. Woolaroc. A Travel Air 5000 piloted by Arthur C. Goebel and William V. Davis, arrived after a 26-hour, 15-minute flight, leading runner-up Aloha by 2 hours. 1929 The 1929 Palestine riots break out in Mandatory Palestine between Palestinian Arabs and Jews and continue until the end of the month. In total, 133 Jews and 116 Arabs are killed. 1930 – The first British Empire Games are opened in Hamilton, Ontario, by the Governor-General of Canada, the Viscount Willingdon. 1933 – Christie Pitts riot takes place in Toronto, Ontario. It remains one of the worst outbreaks of ethnic violence in Canadian history, with over 10,000 participants and spectators. 1942 – World War II. U.S. Navy L-class blimp L-8 drifts in from the Pacific and eventually crashes in Daly City, California. The two-man crew cannot be found. 1954 – The first issue of Sports Illustrated is published. On the cover was Milwaukee Braves star Eddie Matthews at bat, with the headline, "A Nation of Sports Fans." 1960 – Joseph Kittinger parachutes from a balloon over New Mexico, United States, at 102,800 feet, setting 3 records that held until 2012: high-altitude jump, free fall, and highest speed by a human without an aircraft. 1964 – Vietnam War. A coup d'état replaces Duong Van Minh with General Nguyen Con as president of South Vietnam. A new constitution is established with aid from the U.S. Embassy. 2008 – The Trump International Hotel and Tower in Chicago is topped off at 1,389 feet, at the time becoming the world's highest residence above ground level. 2012 – South African police fatally shoot 34 miners and wound 78 more during an industrial dispute at Marikana near Rustenburg. 2013 – The ferry St. Thomas Aquinas collides with a cargo ship and sinks at Cebu, Philippines, killing 61 people with 59 others missing. 2015 – More than 96 people are killed and hundreds injured following a series of air raids by the Syrian Arab Air Force on the rebel-held market town of Doma.